Ted Cruz try to take on Donald Trump? Let me ask you this question. Who has taken on Donald Trump and come out well?
Nobody. The thing about there's a troll-like quality to Cruz. He operates below the level of human life.
Okay, Chris, that's really a little tough. You have not gotten sleep. We're going to try that.
Am I allowed to have an opinion?
Well, but not that opinion. No, you're not allowed to have that.
Let me clarify it. I think he appeals to people's negativity rather than their joy. I don't think people feel good about voting for Cruz. I think they feel, I don't know what it is he appeals to. Now, people keep telling me he's inherited the libertarian crowd. I don't see how. He doesn't seem libertarian to me. He's appealed to the Baptists up here. I don't understand that. What is he, a theocrat? Maybe he is. I'm serious about the guy. There's something that is enlivening about these other candidates that makes you feel good. There's something about that guy who's always reminded me of Joe McCarthy. And there's something about him that's negative and menacing.
So let me try
menacing. So when I say below the level of human life, I mean the good nature of human life, not just being a person. Although I think I have
you've seen some human sides of Cruz. Remember that last when he talked about his sister and her struggle with drug abuse. So you see Cruz trying to open up a little bit. I mean, he's been so tight and disciplined in his public career. Now he realizes he probably does have to.
Somebody just asked him about addiction, and of course he had a family experience with it. That doesn't show anything.
I think he just showed a human side that we haven't seen of Cruz. Cruz is someone who's always on message. You're right.
So let me try to answer your question. The people that Ted Cruz appeals to are the conservatives that have been betrayed by the Washington establishment for 30 years, by Republican candidates that run for office saying they're going to balance a budget and lie. Republican candidates that run and say they're going to overturn Obamacare and lie. Republican candidates who say, vote for me and I'm going to have a humble foreign policy and lie. The Republican establishment in Washington, D.C., hold on, has been lying. They've been lying to the Republican base for 30 years. And that is who's going for Ted Cruz. Because if you're that person, you're not going to vote for Marco Rubio, because Marco Rubio is a big government Republican. You're not going to vote for Jeb Bush, because Jeb Bush is Bush. You're not going to vote for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has been a Democrat most of your life. Who are you going to vote for if you're a Republican who's sick and tired of being lied to, and the Republicans in Washington have spent 3 decades lying?
Because his entree into national politics was to accuse Chuck Hagel, a combat veteran of Vietnam, which Ted Cruz is not, of being a basic traitor, of taking $200,000 from the North Koreans. That was McCarthyite, inexcusable, and that's the kind of guy he is. And I'm telling you, if you're that conservative and that angry, and you think he's as good as it gets, you are really sad.
Well,
that is a very low estimate of the potential of our candidates.
In the morning, and I can't come up with examples of how Democrats have used McCarthyite tactics, but I do know over the past several months, I forget who it was, and we brought it up, but Ted Cruz is not alone in demagoguing as a politician. Democrats do it.
Well, that's your standard.
I didn't say it's my standard.
Well, why are you comparing him to other Democrats?
Well, why are you acting like Ted Cruz is the only demagogue in Washington, D.C.? Because he's not the only demagogue in Washington,
I didn't say was.
Okay.
I'm surprised why you defend somebody like Ted Cruz. I'm amazed.
You're surprised by what?
Why you defend Ted Cruz.
Why I defended Cruz?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't. What I'm saying is you're asking a question. Who are the people who would be attracted to Ted Cruz and vote for Ted Cruz? I'm answering that question for you.
Okay.
I'm not going to be voting for Ted Cruz in the Republican primary.
Okay.
I've made that fairly clear.
Okay, thank you.
But I know a lot of friends. No, I'm answering your question. You asked the question. I answer the question. But I know a lot of friends, Mike Barnacle, who are voting for Ted Cruz, and they're voting for Ted Cruz because he's not only anti-Washington, but anti-Republican Washington.
But I would disagree with you on one element of when you were talking about who the Cruz voters are and why they are so angry and what they're angry at. I think a healthy percentage of them would vote for Donald Trump. The biggest difference, if you go to the rallies, a Cruz rally and a Trump rally, it's pretty simple. At a Cruz rally, nobody's smiling. At a Trump rally, there's a lot of laughter,
Aren't we
a lot of
overgeneralizing here? I mean, far be it from me to defend Ted Cruz, because, you know, when Marco Rubio's people whine that I've been tough on Marco Rubio, I say that the truth is in the transcripts. My attacks on Ted Cruz through the years are about like this. Marco, they're about like this. I don't know that I would overgeneralize. But Bob Costa, why would a Cruz supporter that can't stand big government Republicans go to Donald Trump, who came here and said that he supported Medicaid expansion for Obamacare?
I think Trump actually is going to have some difficulty in winning over the Cruz supporters because, yes, the Cruz voters are angry and so are the Trump voters, but the main difference between Cruz and Trump is ideology. Cruz is seen as an ideologically pure, consistent conservative by the movement activists who have been in the ranks for decades. They see Trump as someone who's an interloper. They like his populism. Some of them like his economic protectionism. But at the end of the day, he does not have a core ideological impulse that's really driving his campaign. That disturbs some on the right who want someone who's really with them on the hard right.
And Chris, at the end of the day, the support for Ted Cruz is ideological. It's a Paul Wellstone of the right.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's right, and I think that they're looking for somebody who's going to do what they say they're going to do, and what a lot of other politicians or pundits in Washington will look at and say, why did he do that? His supporters are saying, thank God somebody finally
My problem is, I think, and the reason I'm tough on him is I sense in him a darkness, a virulent antipathy towards Obama that's almost sees Obama as Castro, as a dictator of the left. His viciousness with which he goes after what you call the Washington, we know what it is, the Washington establishment, the vicious anger of him, I think it's for real. Yeah. And it scares me. It's so menacing.
It's what Democrats did to George W. Bush from 2005 through 2008.
Well, there was a particular issue there, the war.
Well, there's an issue that you agree with those that went after Bush. It's a good point if you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican and a conservative, they'll give you their laundry list as well. If
Cruz wins, a darkness will come over him.
Oh, my God. We're going to go to break. I got to say one final thing really quickly. Yeah. I mean, before we get too wrapped up in the Lord of the Rings imagery.
Okay.
Really quickly. If you're a